Welcome to the session, NGINX Application Security. My name is Chris Witeck. I'm a Director of Product Management here at NGINX. And I've been at NGINX for a few years, really since the acquisition of NGINX by F5. And as mentioned, today's session is going to cover NGINX Application Security. And we're going to start with what are some of the challenges that we see our customers facing when they secure modern applications. And then we're going to jump into how can NGINX help those challenges. First, by talking about the security options available for NGINX Plus, and then by ending with the security options available with NGINX Controller. So let's dive right into it. So let's start with talking about what are some of the challenges that we see customers facing when it comes to securing modern applications. This can be a broad topic. This is something we can talk about for a lot longer than 15 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cover some of the highlights, some of the key elements that we see from customers. One of the first challenges relates to how you layer security into your pipelines. Many of the security tools we see our customers using were created for fixed perimeters with just a few connections to secure. And often customers have tried to evolve their security approach by leveraging these exact same tools, yet these tools were not built for that task. This is challenging because dev pipelines today are built for speed, not for security. Many security tools are not keeping up with modernizing operation models. Inserting security into modern dev pipelines means relying on automation, yet many legacy tools are not designed for automation. Additionally, security teams will be the first to tell you they have a hard time finding and staffing people who really understand security and code, which adds challenges with layering security into your pipeline. Another challenge is the fact that how organizations are modernizing these applications. Many customers today are transforming how they build and manage applications, leveraging many different types of environments. This can lead to challenges to understanding the unique security requirements each of these environments may have. One area is the confusion on who owns security in a cloud environment. Many organizations often misinterpret the role of the cloud provider. They assume the cloud provider is taking on more responsibility for security than they actually are. This has led to scenarios where cloud infrastructure is not kept up to date with security updates and patches. Additionally, today's modern applications are really a collection of services interacting with each other via APIs. And these services can exist anywhere, with data flowing between containers, between users, between devices, and different types of environments. Where with a monolithic application, you may just have a few self-contained services. Services for modern applications can be located anywhere, using all kinds of different technologies. This can make it very hard to understand where a modern application starts and where it stops, creating a very large attack surface that you have to defend. Network infrastructure teams and security teams, they have a lot of experience with securing on-prem infrastructure. But as workloads and applications shift to cloud environments, in many cases, the DevOps or the app dev team within the organization have taken on responsibility for adding security into those environments. Securing this expanded service can be very challenging for overburdened security teams, and friction between the various DevOps teams security teams can lead to dev teams attempting to work around security requirements for the sake of speed. This is an example of that shadow IT challenge. There's many examples of shadow IT, but in this case, we see oftentimes development teams trying to work around the security teams for the sake of speed and for the sake of agility. But that creates challenges for the organization as a whole in making sure that they are compliant with security requirements. The last challenge I'll mention is really a kind of a summary of this first three. Many organizations attempt to secure this expanded perimeter by throwing too many tools, too many security layers, and too many manual processes that can interrupt development pipelines. This can impact application performance. It can impact visibility as security teams attempt to aggregate, consolidate, and correlate data from multiple sources, and can encourage security to not practically be applied. The result is frustration and friction, with both DevOps teams and security teams having a hard time determining what is normal and what is abnormal across all the applications they are asked to secure. So what are some of the things that you can do to help address these security challenges? Well, first, you can invest in lightweight and agile security controls specific for your modern applications. Look for tools that can be embedded by your DevOps teams into your pipeline using automation. You will never have enough security people to throw at security, so automation is your friend. You can also segment or compartmentalize your microservices and container environments so that you can apply security controls to each segment, with some sort of logical ingress point serving as a control point for that segment. This implies a much different trust model than legacy network security, but it also allows you to apply more effective security that was possible with monolithic applications. If security for a monolithic app fails, the entire app might be compromised. But if security for a specific segment fails, and your security controls prevent that attack from spreading to additional segments, you now have a much smaller blast radius that you have to worry about. And lastly, keep an eye on performance. There's a tendency in security sometimes to layer in many different security tools. This is not to say that defense and depth protection is not a worthy goal, but selecting the wrong security tool and then layering on another tool on top of that because you're not happy with that first tool, before you know it, performance of your applications start to suffer. So what is NGINX doing? What are the NGINX investments that we are making to help add and layer in security for modern applications? Well, we are investing in security solutions that can be invested by DevOps teams and SecOps teams and used within your pipeline. Solutions that make it easier to secure apps in a wide range of environments without having to trade off performance for security. Our goal is providing your security teams choices and flexibility on where to deploy security services. Your DevOps teams can deploy services specific to an application, shifting security to the application itself, whereas your network teams and SecOps teams also have choices for securing infrastructure and groups of applications. What we are doing, and our goal is to provide security teams with the ability to provide development teams with guardrails and guidance. This is something we hear consistently from DevOps teams within our customers. What they want is guardrails, not gates, from their security counterparts. Meaning, provide the appropriate guidance and tooling to insert security into the pipeline versus dropping some sort of gate that interrupts development anytime a security review or a conversation needs to happen. So let's talk about some of the specific investments we're making. When we talk about the NGINX portfolio, we talk about it in broad terms as two different layers. Layer one is the data plane, represented by NGINX Open Source and NGINX Plus. Layer two is the control plane, represented by NGINX Controller. We are investing in application security specific for each layer. Security for the data path is optimized for customers managing their underlying infrastructure directly, allowing customers to build in very specific security depending on how they're leveraging the data path and the services contained within that data path. Security for the control plane is optimized for specific use cases that the controller represents, simplifying how security is inserted into that use case. For example, providing security for the delivery of a specific application. We'll go into detail on security options for each of those layers throughout the rest of the presentation. So let's start with NGINX Plus application security. So NGINX Plus is ideal for organizations building out a fit-for-purpose data plane aligned to the specific application services contained within that data plane. And oftentimes we see customers building in their own targeted control plane with fit-for-purpose automation and orchestration. For this audience, we are layering security in the form of the recently released NGINX App Protect, which layers in security for the main NGINX Plus use cases that we see from our customers. That's where you're using NGINX Plus for an application or a web server, or as an ingress controller, or as an API gateway, or maybe as a load balancer. You have the option with NGINX App Protect to layer in security for each of these application services. How does NGINX Plus work? And how does NGINX App Protect work? NGINX App Protect is a lightweight web application firewall that's based on F5 technology that allows customers to shift application protection closer to the apps and application infrastructure. What it provides customers is a strong and high-performing security tool with trusted signatures from F5 backed by F5 support. But this is not a port of a legacy F5 security tool. This is a completely new solution designed from the ground up for how our customers are building and deploying their applications. App Protect is deployed as a lightweight module designed for NGINX Plus and the environments NGINX Plus supports. What this provides you is a tool that allows you to insert security policy as code with easy integration into your CI/CD pipeline. And App Protect can be deployed in a wide variety of different options. First and foremost, it can be deployed at the edge, at the network edge, with an edge load balancer, probably one of the more common use cases. But as you start to shift security more towards your application environments, there are additional options as well. It can be deployed with an ingress controller, where NGINX App Protect works with the NGINX ingress controller. It can also be deployed to specific services within the Kubernetes container. And then lastly, it can be tightly coupled with an application where App Protect is implemented as an embedded proxy for each application prod. The point is, you have a variety of different options in how you can deploy NGINX App Protect with security applied more closely to your application or more closely to your infrastructure. The choice is yours. NGINX App Protect was first released back in May with the core offering designed around things like OWASP Top 10 support, regular attack signatures from F5, and covering some of the API security use cases. We continue to release on an agile basis with some of the recent releases, including things like threat campaign feeds, which is a moderated set of signatures to improve security efficacy, and also additional enhancements that allow you to set more stricter security policies, so more granulated security on an as-needed basis. So that's information about NGINX App Protect. Now let's shift gears and talk about NGINX Controller application security. So NGINX Controller provides customers with an easier approach to enabling application services by providing a standardized way to how you can manage and deploy applications that can be deployed by your development teams and DevOps teams across a large and distributed enterprise. With controller application security, we're taking NGINX App Protect and inserting it into the controller story. First covering the ADC use case and then adding it into API management later on. The controller application security offering, it's going to start as an add-in module for the ADC use case. And it's available in beta now with commercial availability coming in the fall. And the main use cases we're covering is as follows. The first is allowing you to insert security policy lifecycle management into the deployment of your applications. And we're doing that by allowing you on a per application basis and a per component, so it's even the specific ingredients of your applications to enable security for each application component, leveraging NGINX App Protect, which we just discussed as the enforcement engine. But there is additional value on top of that. Second area of value relates to the security insights that controller application security provides. An easy way to see that insight is through the security dashboards that are very much specific to applications. One of the main value stories of controller is allowing you to set policies on a per application basis. That extends to security. So you'll be able to see on a per application basis security and the impact of security on application performance. Your DevOps teams can have a per application view for the applications they manage, and the security teams can see security impact across all the applications in use across the enterprise. This really allows you, your security teams, and your DevOps teams to see how security is impacting traffic to the application, as well as impact of security to the overall application performance. The third area of value is related to how controller enables developers and DevOps teams to add security to their applications in a self-service manner. So an example relates with what we just described. Your DevOps teams can see what applications they have specific permission to manage, and they can insert security just for those applications and just for the application components. So just the pieces of the app that they're responsible for. And then separately, your security teams can have their own view that looks across the entire organization, provides them with that ability, as we talked about before, to set those guardrails, those security guardrails, based on application risk and application use case related to all the applications in use by the organization. That relates to our goal to provide the ability to align security policies to applications automatically, leveraging those preset guardrails set by security. We want the DevOps teams to be empowered by security to easily and effectively layer security into their applications without having to pause their pipeline and to engage the security teams directly. And combined with the intelligent insights we just described, we want the security teams to be able to audit and have the necessary visibility for how security is applied to each application across the entire organization. So in summary, Controller enables organizations to deploy app protection easily in a standardized manner and with self-service capabilities extended out to the various app teams, but security still maintaining the control and visibility that they need. So that was quite a lot of information in a short amount of time. I just want to wrap with an overall summary of the security offerings available from NGINX. And one thing we did not discuss was mod security. Mod security is a great open source security tool that a lot of our customers use with NGINX open source. And we also sell a supported version of mod security with NGINX Plus. That is still available today, and we plan to continue to offer this for quite a long time. Where mod security is great is for simple, more basic checkbox security. It starts to run into issues for high-performing applications or applications where we have greater security requirements and greater security compliance requirements. That's where NGINX App Protect, which we just described, fits in perfectly. NGINX App Protect has been available since May. But if you also want to have that model, self-service model, where you extend security out to different development teams, you want a lot of controls and how those development teams layer security into their applications. So you're a large enterprise and you have large sets of applications that you're managing. That's where NGINX Controller fits in, that we just described. NGINX Controller is available in beta now and be available for purchase later this year. That was a great amount of information in a short amount of time. If you want to learn more, you can request a free trial of NGINX AppRotect at nginx.com, as well as learn more information there. Same thing with NGINX Controller. NGINX Controller, you can go there today and get a trial of NGINX Controller today. As I mentioned, the application security pieces of Controller are in beta, but once you have a trial of Controller, you can engage your NGINX sales rep, and they can fill you in details on how you can take part of that AppSec Controller beta. Thank you.